Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Wisdom for the Field. We're sitting here today with Rabbi Moshe Meir Lipszyc from Chabad Lubavitch of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Welcome, Rabbi Lipszyc. Thank you so much for joining us.
You very, very much. It's an honor and a pleasure being with you. Thank you.
So, I guess before we go anywhere, could you bring us in a little bit to what is Chabad of Fort Lauderdale? What does it look like today?
So we moved on shlichus, so now, 36th year. Only Lechatchila was offered the place, so even paying everybody said, "Well, we're going to Fort Lauderdale. It's not the most gay community." You look at the history of Florida, it's Miami Beach is Jewish, North Miami, Hollywood, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, specifically the east side, was always known as a non-Jewish community. It's the golden capital of the world. On our label, it says, on our emblem of Fort Lauderdale, it's Venice of America. So Fort Lauderdale wasn't exactly on the list. And when we first came here, people asked, like, "What are you coming here for? What time where?" People didn't believe that there is enough people to have the shul. But uh, before we went on shlichus, when I asked when Fort Lauderdale was finalized already with different places. So when we finalized Fort Lauderdale, so the day I went at shlichus, Fayelo, started first went to the Rebbe to get thousand Sunday, and they had said to them they were asking the Rebbe to have a slach on our shlichus, and became the Rebbe Rak Meshasila. By the time I landed at Fort Lauderdale, I had an answer that the Rebbe took the word Hatzlacha, circled it, made an arrow, and added on the Rebbe. So that keeps me going through everything. No matter what kind of tough times, whatever it is, I believe that you have a premise that will have Hatzlacha Rebbe. That's how it started.
Wow. So what happened? You came there, and was it taka challenging at the beginning?
The fact was, we only knew one person. One person would come in sometimes, the motion partner, and only started person. And he said, "Well, I know a few people, there's this." And I went to meet to the people he knew. One of them, very, very, very interesting, told me a story that happened with him and the Rebbetzin. Because he told me, "You'll never make it, you'll never do anything, this and this and this. But I'm going to tell you one story because you're the Babich of the Rebbetzin." He says, "I had a car mechanic shop on Coney Island. And the Rebbetzin used to drive this young Cadillac and everything. And he told me that the Rebbetzin, when they needed something done with the car, the Rebbetzin would come to him to fix the car and everything else. One time, he told the Rebbetzin that, "I just want to let you know, I'm closing shop. I'm retiring. I'm moving to Florida." So I was asking, "Father Veal?" Says, "Yeah." "You have a puppy yet? Do you have anything?" He says, "No, I'm going to go there and we'll find the place and everything else." The Rebbetzin came back the next day to him. He told me the story. The Rebbetzin came back the next day to him and gave him 5 mezuzahs and said, "This is my gift for you to put mezuzahs on your door."
Mm.
Said that when he came, he was looking for apartments. Everything wasn't working. He didn't like it, this. Then he found an apartment at 3900 Gold Ocean Drive. It's literally a drop down from the shul. When he went and he saw it, there were 5 places for mezuzah.
Ah,
It's gonna go.
wow.
So as my friend of first one first one I made 80th small Oliver Shalom. Son, his grandson is a Lavacher. It is
Wow.
it's in Walnut Creek. But he himself told me the story. So in the beginning, we thought that it didn't look like anything, but we had to go 12 days to rent a storefront. And not one used to leave this to get in the house for many reasons. But we rented a small storefront. 2 brachos came down, Lechatchila, but still it's Yossi Katsi, Yossi Milam, and I got at the end of, Schneid Princeton and the thing, a bunch of other Bachman thing. And we rented this place, painted it up and on the walls, ran some retail, buy some chairs, figured it out in the paper. 3 services, Hebrew, English, and the first Rosh Hashanah day, first at that get a million. Hashanah day, 67 people showed up.
Wow.
Like, where are you coming from? Everything else. So there's a reform temple. Actually, miles from me to conservative temple. Even further, 3 services. How could you need it?
Ah,
And that's how we started.
wow. So you saw very quickly that there was taka something to work with, a lot to work with.
I saw it from the Rebbe's answer stuff for Rebbe. That is,
Wow.
it's independent. If I work hard, it'll be. I mean, take even I moved there Sunday. It was a person I knew as a brachos. I used to go to a store on Lincoln Road, but I'm filming it. So you tell me, oh, you're moving to Fort Lauderdale? I'm gonna get you a big guy to help. Just come to my office. This was Wednesday. 3 days after I moved to 4 days. And Sunday, this was Wednesday. And I come down to his office, and on speakerphone, he calls a person. His name is Bob Kilmer. And so, Bob, how are you? This. Hey, how are you? They start conversation. By the way, there's a rabbi moving right down the block from you, and he's a good friend of mine. I would like you should meet him. Says, Rabbi, I don't want to meet your rabbi. I don't want this. And he dismissed it. This guy, John, is trying to push him. No, I don't want to meet him. He says, he's on a speakerphone. He says, I don't want to meet him. You're going to push me to meet him. He said, a deal. He could meet me Friday, 15 minutes, and he's not going to get better from me. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. He mentioned to me that he has a daughter that's very, very not well. Doesn't eat, doesn't move, doesn't do anything. So I went to the meeting with Yossi Katz. I went to Yossi really from day one, that 17. Yossi came with him, but then later it was Yossi, then you finished my Pinsky, and later maybe Willem, fans, the Yadzov, all these. A lot of Bachman that really helped us build this place. Without all those Bachman, it's not been sure roads. Without them, we could never be who we are today. But Yossi, Shlem Palace was here as a Bachman, and Yossi Katz came with me to the meeting. Walked in, I looked, 23 and a half years old. Let's say 24. He says, who wants you here? Who's paying for you to be over here? And he was a guy in his high 60s, maybe even hitting 70. He could not understand anything. What am I doing here? So I told him, I will really answer your question, but my 15 minutes are up. Since my 15 minutes are up, I can't have time to answer you. So you'll leave when I tell you to leave. Then I went to the Rebbe, we went to Steve all the time, went through everything. Couldn't grasp it. But he said, okay. There's a picture of his wife on his table. So before he left, he takes out a check, give me a check. I said, the deal was no check. He says, yeah, leave my office, you take the check. He says, I'll make you a deal. Sunday, I'm flying back to New York, Rebbe Moshe, to give a pen. If you will write down your name and all your kids' names, your wife's and your kids' name, and also your child is not well, then I will take the check.
Huh.
So what's the rabbi in New York going to help? I said, let's try it. He sat down. He wrote the letter to the rabbi, and that was it. And he gave me a check. And then I was at the door. He says, you have no cash on you. It's really none of your business. So he pulled out another $500 cash. He says, here's $500. You are never going to walk around in your pocket less than $500 cash.
Huh.
About 36 years ago, till this day, I never walk around without $500 cash in me because of him.
Wow.
Because of him. So I went through every Sunday, and I gave him the pan. Erev Shoshana, then Roshana, I said I go to his office just give him a bottle of honey to come back. So secretary tells me, did you have a meeting with him? Yeah, say no, she wouldn't let me in. I would say, yeah, I'm lying. So I said, I think so. She is mad, you don't have a meeting with him. Monday morning, he told all his workers, if anybody catch you in the store, he wants to see you right away. Hey, I go up to his office. I didn't get a chance to sit down. He tells me, you believe in God? I said, I think so. It's my job. So he tells me, Sunday morning, the baby started moving by itself. As to what time it was. It's exactly 1 hour from when I gave the Rebbe the pan. He
Wow.
went ballistic. Went ballistic. So he tells me I'm out of time of business Shoshana, and that's it. Comes the Shoshana in the middle of davening. Comes his wife. His wife is a redhead. And I saw the picture on the table. And I had a small storefront, 900 square foot. She walks in from the front, holding this child that's not well. In the middle of davening, everybody's davening. I don't want to be here. My husband forced me to be here. I'm here for a few minutes. And that's while she's screaming at me in front of the shul. My wife told us over to give the baby a cookie. The baby takes the cookie and starts eating it. She didn't see the baby starting the cookie. I said, what do you mean my daughter a cookie she can't eat? She's eating. She burst into tears. I cannot get her out of shul the whole day.
Wow.
She was there. She, after that, started telling her husband, fund him, give him anything he wants. So I'm not doing it. She says, okay, if you don't want to do it, get your friends involved. I'm not doing anything. Let's get to know him. We could be friends and everything else. Come Sunday after Shabbos Bereshis, he had to be in New York with his wife. He said, you're in New York. Let's go to the Rebbe for Dallas. I said, I'll do it. Went to the Rebbe for Dallas. And the Rebbe ended up giving him $8, $7. Let up giving him and talking this and this and this, but everything. Or he walked away. The Rebbe called him back, gave him another $1, the $8, and said, you should involve your friends. He never told him. Walked out, started screaming at me in front of 770. How dare you ask the Rebbe to do your dirty work? He was screaming at me. So my mentor walks by a damn minute. Yossi Raichik, Shalom. Yossi, to me, I grew up in the Raichik house. When I joined the Babish, I worked for Yossi. Yossi to me was unbelievable. So Yossi says, so do you want to explain him? So I told Bob, I said, it's never Yossi Raichik. I think why don't you ask me what you just told me? He said, what? He says, I told him something private. He told me to the Rebbe to push me. Yes, he has some words about involving his friends. Yes, he says, you'll come to understand about it. We don't tell the Rebbe anything. The Rebbe tells us what to do. I want to tell you, we became so close. He was really a father figure to me. He took care of me as a son. Throughout my life till the day he died, he later on in life realized who and what the Rebbe was. He apologized to me for what happened. And just one more story about him, and then I'll let you know about the question. I'm sorry for saying all of this.
Yeah, this is perfect. Amazing.
But I had cancer 2 times. And in the beginning, doctors also I could have a kid. But after a year, plus everything else, every doctor said I'll never have a child. Called to the Rebbe, run by Dallas by the Rebbe before like Bena. My wife told the Rebbe the kids. He gave her $1 for her, gave her $1 also Akim to the man, gave her $1 after das called the Kinder, gave her another $1 for the other Kinder. So I understood that kid and man twins, the first ones. I never understood the second, but that's why I took it. Through a whole story crazy, crazy story, whatever. We landed up finding out about this doctor that was doing a new experiment and everything else. So my secretary went out to the doctor and would not let go until the doctor told the staff, told everything. He says, okay, send me the reports. Send the reports, call back. Even him, I can't help. It's impossible. So the secretary, the Friday girl says, hey, so the body should have a promising kids. So you want to do it, do it. Says, you want to waste your money. Ain't how this works. You got to pay me $30,000 cash 30 days before money not refundable. Once I do, it's another $10,000 for the shots and medication that you need. You want to say, money, let him go ahead and do it. So she tells me, just pull him up and book the first 30 days, 35 days. We're doing it. It moved to $300 in my pocket. I didn't have a dollar. Every month, my lawyers were in court. There's a lawyer that was offended about to make sure I don't get evicted. I'm trying to just stall time. So $40,000. I don't remember $40,000. So my deal with Bob was we were very, very close. Sundays we'll go to dinner together. Tuesdays I'll put out Philadelphia. And Friday I wish him a good Shabbos. So I remember what he did to us. So I came to him. He says, Nation, you look so down. He says, tell me what's going on. Tell me. He said, didn't you tell me that the Rebbe promised you like children? I said, yeah. Opened his drawer, took out $40,000 cash. That's it.
Wow.
So
This was in your first few years in Fort Lauderdale?
So my first set of twins are 29 and they're 36. So and it didn't work. The first seven surgeries didn't work, and the eighth one works. So yeah, but I have to be the second year or something, second or third year.
Wow. Unbelievable. Amazing how much the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin paved the way.
Cannot tell you. Cannot tell you. My first set of twins are completely not well. Completely not well. You know, my daughter goes in talks and diapers. Joe, my son, maybe something. These all everything else. That was the eighth surgery. The ninth surgery that we did 2.5 years later is my daughter that's a shlichus with me here, get to everything else. That time I didn't want to do any more surgeries. I have two children that were extremely not well. Based out of that. Yeah, my wife and I did speak. We were dating and we both wanted to have children. But it is, my wife couldn't give up. She wanted more children. So she had a lot of people to pressure me. So I said, I'm going to do this. I was do one more surgery. What's what it was? The night before I had to go to surgery, I put in the video of the Rebbe again. You need a birth for kids. Whenever I left the Rebbe, I would check the video. That night, I was so just talking to the Rebbe. There should be, healthy children, good and everything else. That I let the video play. And after I walk by the Rebbe's office, see where the Rebbe turns on and says about how wise they fall into going to Zoom. It's on video. So, okay, indeed. And actually, another set of twins. My son is not well. Not as bad as the first step. It was totally well. But that's a question. It should be well. And I said at his birth, I said, he landed up, the twins were born early. They landed up being born on my wife's birthday. And I said that was what I believe was a baby. Just wanted to thank you God for trusting me. And realize I have twins.
Wow.
The sixth and seventh surgery, I did another in Australia. They didn't so much, but helped me out a lot. And the rest, perfect.
Wow.
Not even more. When the first set of twins were born and we found out how bad they were and everything else, because Because anyway, they were born on Sunday. Chaftas on the base. Chaftas on the base, correct. So you do that here. They were born, Menzel was born 1 o'clock, Goldie was born at 1:15. And they got to rush, I don't see this in this. I asked my wife at 4 or 5 o'clock, are you okay if I spend the night at the Ayor? I'll be back here. I want to name at least my daughter soon, and I'll be right back afterwards. Yeah, we're done by the other. Bob Pullman and Ross with dear, and everything else. It's effective, I cannot tell you. Tells me this man going to the airport at night. Oh, what? That's the one before. Some of the surgeries, chemical drugs, but whatever it was, we didn't know. And this, the doctor said that your wife is pregnant and it's twins. We both knew we're going to have these children. Before the side, we took him forward. Bob at that day said, I take upon myself to put on film the rest of my life every day for this. After the hospital, when they asked me permission to fly in to do, he said, if it's okay with you, I'm coming with you to spend the night at the airport with the garden. He was probably crying just as much or more than me. He spent the whole night there. We took the night up flight to Newark, to the United Continental, got to the air at 1:32. Stayed there, I think it was the 6th, went back to Clan Heights, went to the mikveh, went to name my daughter in the room, straight back to the airport, come back.
Wow. Unbelievable. So let me ask you, you shared you had personal health struggles in the past and then children unhealthy. How was that earlier on in your shlichus, dealing with those challenges?
I had some health challenges in my life. I did have 5 different cancers. I did have 2 open heart triple bypasses. I need another one. It's just very dangerous. That's why I'm trying to push it. I did have 27 capital days of 14 stents. And I do take care of president and everything else. I don't teach children anything else. But for my first cancer, 2 things. I was free with myself. Beating up his mind and I push back with the stuff. It's impatient for me. There's nothing in my life that I cannot believe that I cannot overcome. Because if I gave it to me, it means I could do it. Number 2, I'm a crazy believer of every single thing that I see here I go through. It's a lesson for me in life. Every one of my things help me grow my shlichus. It is. Person goes, I'll give you an example. From I was working on the hospital, shop minus 1 year. Walking into a room and you see that there's a commotion going on in the room and everything else. They said, oh, just Bishop, because who else you the comment it starts lashing out at me. He says, I just found out I had cancer and this, so what are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? You want to tell me what type of cancer? You want to tell me what kind of chemo? Do you need a chemo doctor? He looks at me. He says, I went through a few cancers in my life. I went through. I'm not your rabbi, let me be your friend. Till the day he died, we had a connection. Lived in Boca, we tried on every Shabbos to be here. It is so I believe that every single thing in life that went through was literally not to suppress me, was to bring out in me that I could do more and more and more and more. So I never once looked on it as a test, never looked on it that I won't get through it. Focus, push it through, look at the end. Very much going to tell me a very nice line. Throughout Australia, you relevant for anything for really was for some men who stood up for his upshot. It was straight for 20 hours. it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. Took a walk down. He was hot and shit with me. We walked down, started back the next morning. And he says, Mr. Meir, look up. What do you see? It's lady. It's not a star. Look up again. Before I had a chance, he says, you see the stars up there? I trusted it is never, ever, ever complete dark. Wait a few hours, the light will shine again.
Mm.
So, thank God the Rebbe gives me the strength to get through every single thing, guide through every step of my life. And it helps a tremendous amount of people. It is
Wow.
because as a rabbi, you connect only to a certain level. And past that level, you become a friend. And it's very sad it comes deeply. You suffer your shlichus, you suffer that you represent the rabbi, but when you go through every shlichus has their story. You will see that 75, 80% of stories really happen when a person alive is a really, really close friendship.
Wow. That's amazing. I think at least many of us, the challenges we go through are a little less um, serious or life threatening. And I think we could all use more of that, being makabel b'simcha and not getting down by our own challenges.
It doesn't make sense to do that. If the Rebbe would have believed that you cannot handle it with you, do you believe that the Rebbe would let this happen to you? Simon, it's impossible. So if you think about it, and it's just not the mind and the kashbar, you learn it, you live it, you tap in to your source. I have my craziness. Whenever I was shlichus, I flew into the Rebbe for educational breath. The second it was over, I was on a plane to be a educational breath. It is. Since Gimel Thomas, besides covering my health, I'm in New York every single week. But I go to every single week. I go to the AL for 1 hour. I go.
Wow.
I'm at the AL for an hour to hour 15 minutes. I'm back here for winter. It is. So someone's going to say, taking away time from shlichus and everything else. You know what? I look at it. I'm answering to my boss. I'm getting empowered by the Rebbe. And half the time somebody will come with me. But if not, you answer to your boss. He takes care of you very, very well. Takes care of you. What is day and night thinking about every one of us? Checking and going. So yes, thank God I'm lucky that I live in Florida. So I can be back and forth in a few hours. But for the people that I go there, you got to go to that every month. But if you can go a week, I don't see a person, whether it may be, okay, not Australia, not OBDs, they come with 2 hours, 3 months. But not for sure, make sure you have to go to the Rebbe. You'll see the answers.
So, Rabbi Lipszyc, thank you for sharing all that. That's super moving and powerful. So, fast forward a little bit from your early years. What first of all, what does Chabad Lubavitch in Fort Lauderdale look like today? From coming in from that small storefront.
So we have now both about houses, negotiating somewhere right now. Fort Lauderdale east side completely is transformed. But people feel like there are no Jews on the east side. It is the Eina in Hara. so many, Baruch Hashem, it is all the shluchim Baruch Hashem do very, very well and everything. It's amazing. The people that are with me on the journey for 36 years are amazed that Fort Lauderdale, as long as was Waspi's neighborhood now, it's amazing. Not only that, the city expects us in every single way. Like a few years ago, it's Santa Monica, just go from the mayor's office. You know what? How about we should name this street Chabad Drive? And it's the covenant they have from lighting minutes at any time. It really transformed. The focus you believe in, you do it. You have to do everybody else to do.
Wow.
So it's really, we always knew, because we had belief in the Rebbe's word at Fort Lauderdale, that even through my toughest times, I would things would be repossessed me, I'm losing things. I ever told the Sheikh one time I was going through a little bit tough time, very close friend of mine. Never told him it's a side fiber. The balance. So you know what? You don't do a small fire. It's side fiber. Push
Temporary.
ahead. Like Rebbe said, it's never dark by a facet. What? It's like even the temporary is not a complete darkness. But one star you see is there the garden you're walking with. So it's a temporary thing, the other darkness, and get out of it. That's why I'm a very, very strong believer. The shulchan has to help each other. Years ago, I told some of my friends that if you take 10 shulchan, we each commit to each other, that we're going to be a team that will always be to help each other, I'll get through everything. There'll always be a share if it's going through a tough time. There'll always be a share that's either out of it. We connect ourselves to each other. We work with each other. We stand there for each other. We help each other financially also. We will all get through it. Maybe Deitch over Shalom from Virginia, very close with. He's so believable. Karen has gone through one of my toughest times of life. Maybe called me up and told me, Shmeya, what's your talking about wanting out $50,000? Maybe $50,000 of money. I don't have to help you. Shmeya, we're going to be there. We paid it back. We gave him. And I always push off because even a young shit now, very close. Told him, want to be successful? You make sure you help Shmeya. Spoke to him 2 days ago. I spoke to him. He told me, whatever, he sees the brachos of helping shluchim. These were his words. He says, I was giving out every day, a young shliach, $180 to different shluchim. He says, I see the others help me. I'm offering it for $360 a day. Not that it's a day for a young shliach.
Wow.
Doesn't live in a rich neighborhood. There's no thing. Shluchim, I believe, financially. At the same, you have to be there for Shia. The Rufnius, you have to be there for Shia Begashmius. If 10 friends sit together and take upon themselves, we are making a path. Of course, I'm sorry, but we're going to be there to help each other no matter what. They will always be successful. If you have about 10 people that spend money, 10 people, there will always be some have, some doesn't, but they know that we could do this, we'll help each other to make tough times. We would shluchim would do that. I think shluchim would learn to realize that the main person together, not from your own greatness. Yes, there has to be a seder of shame about it. Hey, help! None of my balabatim that ever helped shluchim ever affected me. Never affected me. and it affected me $10,000 a short period of time. He came back to flying with the shoe.
Wow. So these are Balbatim of yours that you've like introduced to other shluchim, or that you've directed to help other shluchim? What are you referring to?
So, to both. The most famous one that everybody knows is Guma. The most famous one. It was. Do you know when I told Guma that that's Chila? Guma and I were talking every single day. We were inseparable, partially because we loved each other, that somebody had said Michigas and everything else.
What was this
I
guy's name?
told him, Guma Aguilar.
Okay.
And people know I'm shocking this and this. And I want to tell you, I told myself, wherever you go in the world, you must be the Kabbalas. So I'm letting you know, if I find out you went to Kabbalas, a didn't check there, this. I was one time at a Fabrani, son. Do this. I heard young Shluchim talk to me. One young Shliach said, I had this miracle. This was the Lord. And people asked me. And the quick story was that somebody came in they didn't know and gave him a $25,000 check.
Ah,
And I asked him because I knew that Kumu was going there. I asked him, where you from? Told me. I said, you mind telling me the name of the check? Yeah, the Imaging Capital Foundation. I smiled. Well, if I said, Guma, thank you. What?
wow.
So, kept your word. So, okay, but Guma, I understand that people are not against the Guma now with billions of dollars. But Bob Perlmutter, tell us he got my first follow plus. In every state that he had a store, she was willing to go in and take what they wanted for free. If they called it anything else, some people took advantage of it, but yes. Now, when people learn, help Shulchan, encourage the Bala Bus, deal with the Bala. Yes, I'm not going to say with Duma, we have 2-3 Shulchan that I would not tell them no. You have time. You have no right to say no to Shia, get money. But there are 2-3 people that went over there, tell them bad things about me, asked them for money, and Duma called me up. And then the sickness, what do you want to say? Should I give him money? Say, you have to help every Shia. How much? You decide. You have no right to say any Shia, no.
Wow.
And it's, I think it's from learn and it really believes that it all comes from the Rebbe. It does. Help on that Shia. You really feel like about Moishe is they affect you? Impossible. And what do we say about things for the person?
Sorry, what was that last thing you said?
And the other is not stay about faith.
Right.
You know, it's going to say about faith, but once there comes another Shia, the way is that the Shia needs somebody for his own Mesa, and somebody another Shia.
Wow. Yeah, obviously, so it's inspiring.
Thank you. I'm a very big believer. You see all over things in the Sprache. Words, I'm going to say cheap, but they're not expensive. But believe this. I can tell you that, it's going through my toughest times when Gumi disappeared, and I was losing everything. It's not like Gumi gave me $120,000, it's in the millions. You lose a dollar bus like this,
He was giving
overnight,
your moisad millions at the time?
we had a deal between us. But he asked me about how much money. We had a deal how much he's going to give me a year. And it wasn't the millions. Then we had a deal that he brought up, he's trying to give you personally. And then he said, okay, you okay with the deal? I said, no. There's one more part of this deal. What's one more part? But I would like to ask you money for any sheikh in the world that needs it. For me, we have our deal. I will never ask you for money from me. I said, well, if I'm not a shliach, as long as you agree to that, you got it. And he agreed to the deal. And believe you me, I pushed him sometimes to the end. I
Wow.
cannot tell you. There's a particular story with a particular shia. After I getting asked that day for Pesach for a crazy amount of money for shluchim all around. And did it. And he was going to the airport to go to Israel to work out, to be for the Seder. He was on the way to the airport, another shia called me. And I knew I shouldn't call him because he already gave the million. I knew I shouldn't call him. I said, I should not call him. This other shia is desperate. So I called him. So on the way to the airport. I said, Guma, I need from one more person. He says, Ishmael, don't think I gave you enough and everything else? On the way to the airport. I said, you're right. You are right. But I must ask because he's a shliach. I'll speak to you later. Hung up. Only about 30 seconds later. Am I crazy? Take the other 18,000 I give it to the shliach.
Wow.
So I think when people realize that you as a shliach are giving a fortune, brachos, help other shluchim, even for other shluchim, take opportunity of it. Rebbe didn't give every single shliach opportunity to help every single person. Help, be there, to inspire the shluchim, and help other shluchim to help other shluchim. We help each other, nothing is going to stop us. Nothing is true. Of course, I do to say that this and this, you can't go to say this. I go to seconds, tell you, but in ticket, to say that. But you gotta do it. You got it.
Wow.
That's what I believe.
Wow. That's very powerful. So on a different note, for being on shlichus over 30 years, what would you say, are some of the most important lessons that you learned, and that, you could share with us, about being a shlichus, building a moisad, finding a moisad.
I'll tell you like this. Number one, not most such a person. However, you have to connect to Rebbe. Okay, to Rebbe, if the Rebbe is listening to you, if the Rebbe is telling you, you have to connect to Rebbe. That is secular Rebbe. Like the Rebbe says that would be like Sivra Yaisik, if you have to think about a half an hour a day with children, you must think every single day of your kasher today. You'd be getting out on that, you're going to the area, watching a video. You have to every single day know them. Number two is if you have shluchim working under you, don't micromanage them. Tell them I had a young shliach that was working for me, and he tells me, Shmei, don't tell me how to do it. He says, tell me what you want done. If I don't do what you want done, then you're going to talk. But if not, then do my way. I worked on it, and see you don't micromanage every small thing. Let the young shliach fly. Let the young shliach soar. There's matters that you don't have. Respect his matters. Of course, that's always respect as the boss. But once he starts spitting on you, then it's against the other totally. They will put a system into place. The young shliach has to know to respect the older shliach. The older shliach must know to give cover to respect the younger shliach. The third thing is, be very open and straight to your Baal Batim. Don't lie to your Baal Batim. Don't be straight with your Baal Bas. Might that be with the Baal Bas wants to hear, might that be what you want to hear. Be straight with the Baal Bas. Number three, the Baal Bas is not stupid. You're not stupid, you make your own life, but it's stupid. It's smart. Number four, don't ever go after their money. Go after them. Shabbat and Tiny says that there's two ways. The long short way, short, long way. I can tell you from experience that the long short way always works. Not about us. That for the first 6 years he worked into here, people I didn't know him. He come 3 months a year. I knew we owned the banks in Geneva. I knew we had investment firms in Canada. I knew he was a big guy. Every year before he left, give me $5.
Hmm.
After 6 years, give me $5. The guy that owned Bulk Store was Ben Friedman out of the Shalom. He goes, I was out there. Saw this guy in my shoe. He still don't give me $5. He starts screaming at him. I step in. He's screaming at him. Says, you know who he is? I said, I know who he is. He says, you think I'm a millionaire? I said, no, I don't think I know you're a multimillionaire. So, you know, I keep my money in his bank in Geneva. I said, so I give you a guy to speak with him. And this old man never looked me in the face, always looked down. You could see him using the conversation. And he was so pissed that I was sickly off of him. Did not go back over and ask him for a larger donation. The next year, want to tell you, 100% profit. He gave me $10. So double a donation, 5 to 10. Thank him profusely and everything else. A year later, before he left, he gave me $100. That's really a big jump. But he also told me he's going through a surgery in Montreal. So he told me which day it was. I flew into Montreal, had the taxi wait for me, ran up to Zoom 3 hours I cleared before, put on film with him, gave him $2 to put on down before the surgery. I went after you will have your surgery will go fine. There's a little bit of a small point I could have made just. And he said, you're leaving? I said, I could be back. I have to leave the finish class tonight. I can't do this. So I came back, got a call. Well, I went to send this. 2 days later, I got a message from him. He wants to give $26,000 because of study, take off cake. Then they ended up coming back down here. And I used to drive him to the airport and we'll leave. So they would be flying. And on the way back, he tells me, why don't you spy a building? I said, no, I am every single month in court. I don't have points, spiders in this building. I know why you hold money. Excuse me? I said, yeah. I said, he says, only the building. Parking lot you pay for yourself. It's all different deals. No problem.
Wow.
He tells you to close on Monday morning, 10 o'clock. So at the week before the closing, my lawyer say, Rabbi, he didn't send the money. He didn't send the money. Thursday, Joe Plotzy, I called him up. So, my lawyers are nervous. I said, yeah, you're not going to get money until Monday. What are you talking about? He said, why should I use the interest for those 3 days? That's how calculated he was. So what? He said, yeah, I own the bank. We'll have it in time. By the time 9 o'clock opens in America, you have the money sitting there. So now, okay, you don't believe me, Rabbi? My nephew will be insured. If 901, the money's not there, he will give it to you. Or a different account, you'll have it. That capital was still. I want to tell you something. Talking about this is, I'm here 36 years. 36 minus 8 is 28. It's 28 years ago. Till this day, there's 3 daughters. I'm in touch with the one in Geneva. I'm in touch with the one in Texas. I'm touching about Montreal. I can't tell you how close we are. So tell me, if you think I would have gone over and hit him the first year I knew who he was, whatever I would, the long, short term. Like the
Wow.
even,
So he bought that whole building. The first,
my first
is that where you are today, or that was
yeah.
That's the building you are today? Wow.
So we have plans now. My son-in-law wants I should do a beautiful whatever. I'm a one-on-one person.
Makeover.
I like small things. So we made a plan of really a crazy thing. So I told him I gotta finish up a few things and then we're gonna do it.
Wow. So
And
let me ask you something, Rabbi Lipszyc. I'm sure that some of the people that may listen to this may younger shluchim, and they're in their earlier stages, right? And you're talking about the long, short way. What
But you
about?
have to live now.
Yeah, how am I going to get to?
So I'm going to answer you them. I, Bechlau, split my bottom into three categories. Once I believe that to get substantial money out of, those I do for the long term. The other people, I say to myself, you know what? I don't think, no matter how hard I work, I'll ever get from these people, for whatever reason it is. They're worth only small millions of dollars, have a bunch of kids, the businesses. I believe I get 50, 60,000 out of them. Those are ones that work kind now. Then there are ones that I know that will never give me a penny. Those are going to take category of loans. What does it mean? The people, I had a guy that made it clear for me from day one, you're not getting a coffee out of me. He said, I'm okay with that. I don't drink coffee. I don't. That was it. And I went up him a few months later. Said, if you don't mind, I need a loan for $1,000. He looked at me. I said, sure. He said, $1,000. I'm not asking for a penny. I need it for 60 days. It is. Here for 60 days. 60 days later, I give it back to him. He started having a report with his father boss. No donations, strictly a loan. Don't go for these crazy numbers. Don't ever not pay them back. So this is what I do. I split the bottom into three. My long term, the ones for the loans, and the ones that I need now. That's how I do it financially. Number two, with that, you have to prove to the boss. Okay, this is a little bit different in my case than most cases. I live in a seasonal area. I'm 60%, 70%. I'm people's second level. I'm people's second level. If I'm people's second level, why should you give me $100,000? If you can give it to your main show, get a lot more covered there. Community knows everything. Why would you give it to me? They'll give it to me for two reasons. They believe in what I'm doing, and they know that I'll be the favor. I want to ask Bob Perlmutter, why do you give me? I asked this guy, Bob Perlmutter, my first Bob boss, as years went by, Bob, why do you give me so much money? I said, I was a son to him. Said, what do you mean? I said, what do I do for you that you give me 6 digits? You can give me a little bit more regular on a constant basis. He said, you know how cheap I'm getting away? I said, what do you mean? If I would have to hire a full-time doctor, marriage counselor, take care of my kids, do you know how much it would cost me? And by the way, you're not there 7/24. They're away on vacation. They don't work after 5 o'clock. You are 24/7. Do you know what kind of deal I'm getting? That I know there's somebody at 24/7 for me, for my wife, for my kids, and I really loves me. He says, I've got the one that's the bargain of this. It is 10 times harder for a shliach to become personally close with every one of us. I want to tell you, you pass that line, there is no no to you. Might not be the number you want, might be over a little period of time, but there will be no to you. There will be no word no to you. What does it mean passing the line? I'm going to give you an example. You have on shlichus. Why do you bow button in the hospital? For sure, you go visit him. How many times do you go visit him? Once, twice. At Shabbos, we talk about for challah. You're a great rabbi. A really even better than a normal rabbi. You know what a friend is? You make sure that every day you're there, even for 2 minutes. There are times I got into Balabatim in the hospital, 5 a.m. in the morning. And if they was asleep, I left the car, I came to say hello, to show them, you are important to me. I'm going to stop. It could be only 2 minutes. Sometimes I have a crazy busy day. But I am thinking about you every day. By the way, and after you went to see the sick person, what did you do with your spouse or the children? Do you know that it is, I'm a person that went through a lot of health issues, okay? Do you know it's 10 times harder on a spouse or on a father? When my son had to go into the hospital for his cancer, it was 10 times harder for me than all my cancers, all my heart, everything. So great you went to visit the person in the hospital. You called the spouse that night and asked the spouse, how are you doing? Mrs. Hager from London said this beautiful servant in Levinson, when she had a child that wasn't well, you know, I think she said it was Down syndrome. Levinson always called her and asked about her. How was she doing? She said, somebody cares about me. It's sad that you have special needs children. I have three. I know what it means. But you know what? There's a human being behind those special needs children. There's a human being behind the spouse that had open heart surgery laying in the hospital. Do you think about buying that person something? I know one of my Balbatim. I know I'll get blasted for this. I'm going to say it anyways. I know one of my Balbatim that his dog meant more than anything in this world to him. Some people, the pets mean more than anything. When his dog died, he sent down a eulogy for his dog. I cannot tell you. I sent him a massive bouquet of flowers. And Zecha Nishrat's the dog. I want to tell you something. He went, did this? I said, I knew your dog. I know how much you love the dog. I'm not hurting as much as you are because it wasn't my dog. And I don't have the same love to the dog that you have. But you are in pain. You're hurting. If this is going to make you, for a few minutes, feel better, you are worth it to me. So some people will tell you, don't cross that line. I agree. For some people, I think soccer works for me. My way does not work for a lot of shluchim. I'm a one-on-one person. It took me 36 years to make my first dinner this year. And it's all because my kids pushed me and pushed me. It came out better than my wildest dreams. It came out. It's not who I am. I'm a one-on-one. So the ashluchim that my way does not work for. And it's not right for me to tell them how to do it. You ask me what works for me. For me, this is what works. It is. I could tell you stories of when my only shlichus that I have a great enjoyment from is getting money from somebody that never gives a penny to start that. I will outweigh the person. Was a doctor from Chicago that he had a tough life. I'm not gonna say no, very successful. Something happened. A son passed away, so I says, gave up the whole film card because he became about Shuva. Why did he became about Shuva? The son passed and so close with the family. I cannot tell you how close with the family. But when he wanted to get out, I'm close to the family now, not then. He wanted to get out of Chicago. He didn't want to get into it. But he had two problems. Number one is he wanted the beach. Number two is, but his wife became film she wasn't going to give it up. So he needed phone. So somebody told him he was eating at a restaurant. He asked all of the restaurant, Chabad? He says, sure, I know Chabad everything else. He says, which is Chabad? And he told the guy, see, I have the perfect rabbi for you. Give me some idea. I have his number. He says, don't worry, he eats here a lot and will probably be here tonight. Walk into the restaurant. Moshe Meir, let me introduce you to this doctor. This and this, I go there, everything else. Really, really very, very nice. Hit it off phenomenal. Went back to my table with my wife. That was my wife and I only. We had dinner. I asked him for the bill. He says, the doctor paid for your bill. How much was my bill? It's got 300. Walked over to the doctor. I think I paid $100 back and said, let me do something, doctor. I really thank you very, very much for the gesture you made for me. I do not take money from anybody that I do not service. So let me give you, here's your $300. I said, they am going to give you a commitment. Oh no. Before he left, before I went to eat, I told him, why should I sell my neighbor to you? Come to me for Shabbos. Come to me for Shabbos, stay in my house Friday night. You say, I said, I'm not sure. I said, don't do whatever you want. Come to me, I'll give you a bed. You want to sleep by me? This and this and this. So I call my wife, and if she's willing to come to Chicago, I'll come to you. And that's how I went to eat. So when I went back to him, when I had this whole series stuck and said, I don't take money for my own service. So I get back to the guys, I smiled, but don't worry. In a year from now, you're going to give me 10 times as much and give me 3,000. He smiled, I walked away. I had my phone, put me up a few hours later. I really like you. I convinced my wife to come in for Shabbos.
Wow.
They came for Shabbos. The rest was history. Why I tell you something? To the day of that story, the guy gave me a $3,000 check. He said, you're right, here it is. His son, that today, also a lot of Chabad houses. A lot of Chabad houses doesn't live in Florida, does anything else. We talk maybe once a year. Why I tell you? Don't ask him for money, anything else. I know you have a lot of other Chabad houses. When I came to my dinner, I texted him. He has a few minutes. So I said, I'm going to ask you for something. Whatever, it took like a day we got back and forth, missing each other. And he said, hey, how are you? I said, listen, you tell me now I'm okay with it. I said, he says, okay. And first you only have 3 minutes, but I will keep on missing each other. I said, okay, do it. So no, ask me to Rabbi Moshe Meir. So I told him, I'd like to ask him to give $25,000. Give it away. He said, I'm going to thank you very much for the opportunity. Please speak to my wife, I'll get back to you. And then he says, Rabbi, my wife loves these opportunities. It's not a cop out. I said, okay. Came back 10 minutes later. If it's okay with you, we'll send you 36,000.
This is the doctor's son.
Doctor's son that doesn't even live here. And he helps out the shlichus. Not a Lubavitcher. That's good. I'll tell you, a few days before the dinner, he texts me. So my wife and I are flying for the dinner. We'll see you sold out. I said, Jonathan, so a seat for you, no matter what, will always be. I went through a lot of life with him. Yes. I'll tell you what, we were working together up. At the dinner, my daughter tells him, Jonathan, my father has the picture of your supper with I did the wedding. Says on his desk, on the wall by his desk. Impact. He left the dinner with his wife to see it. He says, you really had a picture.
Wow.
I said, yeah. It might not be feasible. I would even say it was probably not feasible for most shluchim to be able to do that to 20, 25, 30, 50 people. But
to do that, meaning to like become
to
a
cross
friend.
the line, I know that they
Right.
could call you 24/7. Let them know that you could do it. I have a balabas. That I met in a parking lot. And I know to myself two things. A balabas that's very, very smart and has no sense of humor is not going to get along with me. So I meet this balabas and he's still with a friend that I know. And I see after the first minute and a half, it's not going well. But then, while I'm standing with him talking, I'm about to give up, but him and I are not going to get along. He bought something for $170,000, a car, without even looking for going into the car. In that sense, if a guy could do that, I could give him a few more minutes of my time. And we started talking. The end of the conversation was, well, let's try to have a friendship. He gave me his private cell number. Later, I found out he's CEO of 16 companies. He is. And it's going to be a 30-second phone call. I call you to wish you good job, this. You call this. So I called him on Friday, takes a phone call, 30 seconds. How are you? So this is for our blessed the next week. Then the next week, for 3 weeks, he picked up the phone. The next 3 weeks, he didn't pick up the phone. He picked up the phone. Oh, Gavin, I said, are you okay? He said, yeah, why not? I said, I don't know. Usually, if somebody calls or leaves a message, you call back. If you didn't call me back for 3 weeks, I thought you're not okay. I said, let me tell you something. I'm not looking for a kind against. Go to a shul, wherever you go to. I don't go to shul. He says, United Shul. So I'm looking for a friend. You want to be a friend? Let's continue this. You don't want to be a friend? Okay, we'll play this card games if you want, but it means nothing to me. It's quiet. So what do you consider a friend? You know what I consider a friend? I consider a friend 24/7. I'll be with you, whatever I could do for you. I can do what I can. But you'll know that I care about you in this. That's the type I'm looking for. You can do it. I'm okay with it. Not even I could commit to that. But if you could, I want you to do it. It's quiet on the phone. See a good minute. Says, okay, I take your deal. Now, I knew he was by the Shrickster. I knew that Yiddishkeit was the last thing on his radar. So I asked him, it's a guy in his 60s, do you ever got bar mitzvah? He said, no, not at all. So I turned around and I say, how about coming and keep the show? Is that for your kippah? And I'll do a bar mitzvah. So what? I'll come to the Torah with you. We'll do the blessing. You'll have a bar mitzvah. He says, how long will this take? 15 minutes. Okay. What time should I be there? I told what time I got to tell everything else. Pulls up to shul in shorts and a t-shirt. Says, Rabbi, 15 minutes. I'm going surfing now. I said, okay, this is really going to go well. A packed shul, a guy with a t-shirt and shorts.
That's Erevin Kippur. What is this?
On Yom Kippur.
Oh, it's Ani Kippur. Okay.
On Yom Kippur. Give him that walk up. Give him that aliyah. I'm dealing with him, helping him read the words. After the aliyah, he says, what are you doing after you put away the Torah? I said, I speak. You know what? I'm going to stand and listen to you speak. As the Torah is being read, he calls me over. He says, he's there with his friend, the one that I'm close with. Says, so you have a lot of health issues. So this is what I'm going to do. From now on, whenever you have to go to New York to the doctors, you're taking him out private jet. I'm not going commercial no more stress. Excuse me? I said, yeah, I'm a private jet. You'll take it whenever you need it. So why would you do that? He looks me to the face. He said, you said we're friends, right? Friends, I got to do for you what I can do for you.
Wow.
I was like, after I spoke, he really enjoyed himself. Before his birthday, I found his birthday. I called him up. I said, hey, it's your birthday. I want to ask you for a birthday gift. He says, Rabbi, I don't know where you come from. On a birthday, give him a birthday gift. I said, yeah, I'm going to give you something that money can buy. But I need you to give me a birthday gift first. So what do you want? I said, why should we go to your office? I was in his office. 5 minutes. I said, sure. Okay. I said, I'm giving you something that money can buy. Come to his office. Get up here to him. I said, Rebbe should have calculated my feelings once in a lifetime. Said, you can't chill with me this one time. Promise you go straight to heaven because that's what the Rebbe said. Okay, let's do it. So we do it. So sit down. Am I supposed to give you money? I said, I don't know. You want to give me money? Give me money. You don't give me money? Don't give me money. It is. Okay. I really don't know you, but I really like you. So I'm going to start off with 50,000 and from there we'll see where it goes. Says 50,000. Okay, it's a good start. Let's go. Buzzes his lady that controls all for lunch that's worked for 40 years. Rachel, 50 out by $50,000. Are you Chabad? You're not getting a penny from us. So this guy says, excuse me? You don't want to get yourself involved with these people. And she Goes on, and he doesn't know what to say because I told him, I'm telling you notes. I said, you know what? Don't give me the 50, but please answer me. What do you have against Chabad? What do you mean? Chabad believes that Israel belongs to the Jews. I believe it belongs to both. So the Baal says, I also believe it belongs to the Jews. Aren't you Jewish? Says, yeah. Why do you come with me to a Shabbos to Moshe? I'm not walking in this. What else do you have against Chabad? You're against the Kabbalah Center. I'm not against. We just don't believe in it. Okay. My husband said, I'm in the Kabbalah Center. So the Baal says, what's the Kabbalah Center? He said, do yourself a favor. Just drop this. Forget the 50,000. Let's move on. Rachel, I promised it to him. So she says, okay, this is my deal. I'll give you $4,000 a month because of 48,000, and you're never getting it again. I said, okay. She walks out. He apologizes profusely. He said, I don't want to fight with you 40 years. From now on, after this year, keep on taking my jet. Bring people to New York to here. She doesn't know what goes on when I get the bills for the. She doesn't control my bills. She controls my philanthropy. I'll pay the gas. I'll pay the cards. And I guess she'll make the $50, $100. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, if I use this for private, this and this, whatever. Cash out for the next 3 years. I didn't get. 3 years, I didn't get another 50,000. I didn't use the very much. One day, turns out to her. And from now, I'm ready to go every month. I can't film with him. He loves it. He loves it. Still from the a kid and everything else. And called me up this morning because some big deal has to close. I still haven't for prayer. Call me son. Call me yesterday. He says, something wrong with you feeling so well? So I just came out of the hospital with the heart. Oh, okay. Your health concerns. So what? So they asked you want to take my check now to go to the I prayed for this. I said, yes. Not let me say. So let me go. I'm okay with that. I'll get the doctor. Because I'm a doctor also. Came out of the hospital with your heart. I know your heart condition. So it's okay. I promise I got it to the Rebbe. I called him Abel, etc. He called me this morning. He says, I moved a little bit. I need to move a little bit more. So whatever. But he told her, after 3 years, I was in his life, he called her. He says, Rachel, I'm not arguing with you. For the rest of my life, he used to get a $4,000 check every single month. No ifs, ands, or buts. Whatever else I want to do privately, go for my personal account. Company's giving him every single month $4,000. Just make sure it gets it there. And it is. So I think, not that I think, I know for a fact, I had a feeling it. I'll tell you one more funny story. I had a feeling it. Then I found out who he was and everything else. It's like talking about a little bit, this. One Friday night, after a while, he asked me, after everybody left, sure, then who walks out, tells me, you must probably know by now who I am. I said, yeah, I know, but after a week you were here, who you are. He says, why didn't you ever ask me for money? I said, why should I ask you for money? He said, what do you mean? The Mason doesn't need money. I said, the Mason needs a lot of money. And believe you me, he could use it. Why don't you ask me? Because this is what I'm under. I'm under the impression you're fooling me. I said, yeah, a fooling knows that a Mason needs money. So either you're not giving me money, there could only be two reasons you're not giving me money. One, because you don't have money right now. Two, you don't want to give me money. Why should I put you into a bad place by asking you? You're going to have to come up with an excuse. Why to give? He looked at me, says, okay, Monday you're getting this and this and this. I think that you really have to split your bottom into three. Some that you really believe that you get a lot out of, prove yourself to them first. Prove yourself to them first. You care about them, you love them. It's really a habit yourself, but a habit behind all goes the Rebbe wants to love you. And that's it. Prove that to them. There is no way, Siki, that balabus is going to tell you no when the time comes when you ask him. Might not give you the 7 digits you ask him, but believe you me, he's not giving you $180. But they have to know that you're real. Till then, split your power bottom into three. It is loans, small, long term, put together a few shluchim together. They'll commit themselves to each other. Will always be here for each other. You are guaranteed success. A touch free, a touch better. Father.
Wow. Rabbi Moshe Meir, thank you for sharing all that. That's so valuable and very powerful. Any last closing thoughts? Or a message to a shliach that's on the path and maybe going through a difficult moment? Do you have any
No, no, you're not alone. It's not. It's not words. No, you are not alone. If you're feeling desperate, if you're feeling lost, fly into the air. Fly into the air. The Rebbe is there listening. The Rebbe is there guiding. The Rebbe is there to help you. Yes, you can do it, where you are at shlichus. Make the case for it. Go to the Rebbe. Tell the Rebbe the truth. Tell him how they think of the Rebbe. If your father, your Rebbe, is not gonna let you fall. The biggest proof is look at Chabad around the world. Every shliach has a story. It could be that just as they're about to fall off the cliff. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you one more story. After Guma disappeared, you could imagine what kind of free fall I was in. I had properties he possessed. I had cars he possessed. I had my water turned off. It's not, you don't go from having millions and losing it in one day to this. It's going through an extremely, extremely bad time. It was
he was at that point he was the main person funding the whole moisad?
It was a joke. It was a joke. I used to sponsor some moisad yeshiva in Boca Raton. So the 8th grade, once a year, I would sponsor a Shabbaton for all the kids would come to us. And Shimi Kamenetsky, that I really liked, the prince and everything else, was standing with me one time by the door. We're just waiting for the kids from the hotel to come in. It's 5 minutes before Shabbos. And Chagai, one of whom his bodyguards, come running over and hands me an envelope. And I said, what's this? Kuma wants you to before Shabbos. I said, I was just with Kuma 2-3 hours ago. Come on, so I put it on my desk. So what do you put on your desk for my Shemir? I said, Shabbos. Open it up before Shabbos. Open up, it's $300,000. So what's this? Call Kuma. I said, Kuma, what's this $300,000? He said, I said, we were together 3 hours ago. He said, yeah. You weren't smiling. I wanted to put a smile on your face. So I gave you $30,000 for Shabbos. I said, Guma, put a smile on your face and that's it. And this on top of what his regular pledges to me.
Wow.
That and by his birthday, it is. So you can imagine what kind of free fall I went through. So as a Chayy Shalom, I was desperate for $12,000. But not to a song, I really was. I know myself in fundraising. If I go to 2 people, the first 2 people I go to, and they both very politely tell me, excuse me, we love you, we can't give you, and all these things. I don't go to a 3rd person that day. I stop. I go to the hospitals, all day homes. Pure mifsem, no money. Never works for me to go to 3 people I go. The first 2 told me no. I needed $12,000. So I went to 2 people, told me no. I called up my secretary, which is Kitty Lev, who happens to be labeled Groner's daughter. I said, I'm going to the airport now. Put me on the next flight to the Rebbe. From when I land, I take off, it should be 2 hours. I'm just asking him for $12,000 coming out now. Okay? Kachava went there, took a taxi, paid the taxi driver $100. I said, here, you can take me to this address. I'm there for 5 minutes. I'm coming back. Okay? Come back to the airport. And Gitti calls me up and says, "Oh, so you asked her about $12,000." I said, "You know I asked her for $12,000, but tell me what I gave it you." I said, "Gitti, it's not true." She says, "Somebody just walked and gave it to her." I said, "Who?" So I'll tell you what happened. Guy walked into this place and said, "Is this a house of God?" I said, "Yeah." So he went, took 3 steps away from me, started talking Spanish, came back to me, handed me a $12,000. So what's this? He said, "We're from Peru. My father just bought a condo across the street from you. He gave me $12,000 over a half an hour ago to go give to church. Every church in this neighborhood is locked. I told my father, I'm only driving up for half an hour, but it looks like there's a Jewish place. The house of God. Go in and give it to them. See here." He says, "What?"
Wow.
It's a one-time deal. We don't have anything but to do with you and anything else. I said on it, Carlos Ibinus. Okay. So today I'm confused. You can find everything. So yeah, show him class. He found for me where he lived. We bought a car and found everything. I got me very sure and left a bottle of honey. He made my life sweet. I wanted me to make your life sweet. But before Hanukkah, gave him, I mean, there's a guy, he said, "You put on my life, so I want to put on your life." Poor man, I don't remember what I wrote him, but I gave him a small shachmanis. Comes listening, and I was tested for $48,000. Everything accumulated. Tried again, didn't work. So Thursday, I went to the Rebbe again, in and out, to ask the Rebbe for $48,000. Shabbos afternoon, those days, got after davening, I would go home. My house was off limits to people. They knew because the middle of the week it was 24 hours, 6 days a week. Shabbos afternoon was my time to sleep for 3 hours. Now we have kitchen and everything else, but that's for some reason that Shabbos I sleep in shul. Now when I'm sitting in shul, guy opens the door, I jump up, I say, because he's a guy, "Are you Carlos Ibinus?" "Why are you asking me who are you?" So I pointed at his picture. I told what happened 6 months ago. Starts smiling. He says, "No, I'm not Carlos Ibinus. I'm Gaston Ibinus, the son. I'm the one that brought it in." He hands me an
Huh.
envelope. I say, "Is there money in, is there a check in there?" You know me? Said, "Yeah." Said, "Nah, take it. You put it into my charity box." I showed him with the stock about. Said, "Put it in the not the Shabbos." He told me about this story happened after Guma disappeared. Also 12 years ago, 12, 15 years ago. One Shabbos, I open up the envelope. Sorry. My, I, I don't leave shul much for Shabbos. Till I call the people I thought were coming to shul that didn't come and make sure they're okay. Then some of them are coming. Well, I just make sure you're okay. You okay? No problem. No excuses. Okay. As long as you're okay. So I get on. Takes an extra 15 minutes after Shabbos. You call the 2, 3 people, 4 people. It makes them feel you
Mm.
forgot about whole Shabbos that you really did. And to them, it means the world. You're not a convert. You're somebody I care about. So while I was doing that, I told my daughter, so I needed money for gas. I told my daughter, go to the push bar. I bought me an envelope. Tati, $50,000 check. Took it full of it. Speaking, I'm not in my office now. I'm at my secretary's office. Downstairs by my desk. You'll see on my desk, it's an envelope. That's there for 13 years. My name is Carlos Ibanez. I'm from Peru. I'm not of your religion. Thank you very, very much for the pretty small gestures. The Bible says that when you make profit, you got to give 10% to charity. I just sold my building. I made $500,000 profit, $50,000 I'm giving to you.
Wow.
Please, please, uh, pray for me and everything else. But 13 years later, his son tells me he's still afraid to meet with me. He thinks I'm some angel. 7, 8 months ago, and this is what happens. I want to let you know. They live in Peru. They come to San Jose. They don't even live in Fort Lauderdale anymore. They live in Sarasota now. They live. And I go by 6 months, I hear from them. In COVID, they ask me for my account number. And every few months, I was saying, if it was, why 1,000, 2,000. And even now, when I go through a tough time, for some reason, they walk in and they give me what I need. I need 10,000, I need 20,000. 15
Wow.
years later. So I asked him before the dinner. He came in unexpectedly. What's it is? So come, nah. They said, tell your father I want to meet him. Since his mother came to me 2 years ago. She thinks I'm an angel. I pay for him and everything else. Yeah, so she came to speak a word of English, paying the shul, flying, cannot thank us enough and everything else. I said, Gaston, it's time to meet your father. Goes along. Tell him I'll make him a deal. Let him use FaceTime. So I could thank you for everything. Wonder. I said, Chad, go to the phone and phone. Yes. Who's that? My father's willing to do it. And the son is translating. It was the nicest thing. Then a conversation. He's like, one day when he feels better, this is over. I'm gonna go with him to Israel. We'd love to go to the Holy Land. But the bottom line is, what does all this mean? It's just one thing. The Rebbe is watching us. The Rebbe is taking care of us. What a great, from Peru to walk into here, live here
Wow.
for a year, then move away. What is this for? Still,
Wow.
say, I have your back. So you find what a young shliach is? I moved here with $300 in my pocket. My electricity was shut off almost every single month. Who at my couldn't even afford a car? I used to borrow cars. You know, we had to borrow a bus. For my first year, that he would be here happy, he would be there happy. I didn't even have a car. He gives me his keys. Here's a Ferrari. Thank you. I don't have money for the guys of the Ferrari. Do you know what it is? Pulling up to a borrow bus or new borrow bus, somebody just come in. You need money. Oh, yeah, but you're driving Ferrari. You need money. But wherever I could live from was tough years. But never did I feel the other wasn't there with me. Never. So for young shliach, know who you're working for. But the other side, Shech Shlomo to Moishe means that you believe in it, you have them. I went with two girls that were getting engaged, two sisters, not Lubavitchers. So what is your problem? Go to the AO, you have the answer there. So we went, it didn't work. I said, it is impossible. It is impossible to go in a shul. I said, what did you do? I went there, I died. I said, that's why it didn't work. So what? I said, did you make a keli? Did you promise them what you're going to do? Fly in, I flew in, wrote down what mitzvah going to take upon. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And if you're doing this, you make the keli, God's going to fill it. So then, some people say, oh, but I already asked, it didn't work. Didn't work. There's two answers there. Didn't work yet. Didn't work yet. Why didn't it work yet? Someone give you the answer to that also. There's a big balabus that people know about that his name was Jim Joseph of Blessed Memories, considered wealthy Orthodox Jew. There's a story with Jim and I that we were extremely close. We had a deal of penny will never go between us. I'm not going through the whole story. It could have was that was a deal of $6 million. After the lawyers wrote up and everything else, it was a contingency to the deal. But we had to wait till December 31st, it should pass midnight for the next year. 12 days before, he had an aneurysm and he died. Nothing like this. Guma asked me if the story is true. I said, I don't want to talk about it. So my Shema, is the story true? I said, yes, it's true. I keep on moving along. He says, you know, when one door closes. I said, Guma, I heard that. He says, let me finish. And he taught me something that is so powerful to me. And this is what I believe with the Rebbe also. He says, when one door closes, the other door doesn't just open up. Because the other door just opens up, then Rebbe, God had no right to do that to you. The only right that they can do this to you is the other door opens up wider. Because if not, it's going to open up the same amount. Why would that happen? So the only reason that Abishah does that is they want to give you more. How do they give you more? By you making your keli wider. Let me do the morning, let me do the talk, let me help it shluch, whatever it means. The Rebbe is begging you. I don't want to give you 10, 20,000. I want to give you more. Open the keli more, do more, believe more, because I'm not giving you just what you want. And if you understand about the Rebbe, the Rebbe is going to give you the answer. So then you have the Chassidim that say, maybe the answer is no. Maybe it is. I don't believe in that in financial. The Rebbe's not telling you no financially. The Rebbe wants you should build a bigger building, go into a contract for a larger property, start negotiation, whatever it may be. The Rebbe's not telling you no financially. The Rebbe is not. Okay? It's just Moishe. The Rebbe's going to hinder his own Moishe. The answer is that he wants you to make a bigger keli, and he's going to give you. If you take a day or two, you aren't getting it. That's how I tell younger children.
Wow.
Go to the Rebbe, check into the Rebbe, try your head out to the Rebbe, believe in the Rebbe, read that you know the Rebbe has all your answers, and it's going to be.
Wow.
I'm sorry
Wow.
for going to so late.
No, this is amazing. Rabbi Moshe Meir, I would stay for another 2 hours, but I'm sure you have to go. And the Bemis, they should, give you a lot of gesund, health, and continue doing the amazing work you're doing in your shlichus and helping shluchim all around. And you're a true inspiration. So thank you very much.
All respect to staff, thank you tremendously. It's such a lot of what we do, getting it out to the masses, understand only one person. So it's a lot of everything.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much.
Okay? You're welcome. It's an honor for you.
Thank you.